And I suppose it's still a matter of procedure to call it to order, even absent the quorum. So I do that. And I will note that in attendance at the moment, we have as members, there is myself, Scotty Boman, chairperson. There is our vice chairperson, Karen Knox. There is Gregory Creswell, our secretary. And hopefully we'll have our treasurer, Washington Houston, join us soon. So we will begin. And I do see we got more people joining, so things may happen further. And so first of all, I'm going to screen share the agenda as I actually have it in a format where I can edit it. And at some point there will be a little bit of editing happening here. Let me just open that up. And here it is. I'm trying to find the right one. There. Okay. So you should see in front of you is our tentative agenda, and there are a couple items I plan on adding to this. And what we do have on here, though, as you can see, is that we have a call to order. And this is interesting. Apparently, this had Roman numerals and stuff on it, as the format the city calls for does, but apparently my word processor that I'm using here has changed the Roman numerals to bullet points and the letters afterward, so that we now have these bullet points as well. But the items that are not indented are the main Roman numeral items. So here are the first item, call to order and roll call, and I did that. And we have now introduction. And so again, do we have anyone here who is a new appointee? Okay. I'm just double checking because I do have that in there in case we end up having a new appointee. And then also introduction of City Council Representative Spivey or representative. I think I may have seen a representative come into the meeting, and I'm going to look here through my list. I'm sorry, I got.
Yep, I'm here. Keisha McKinney from Councilman Spivey's office.
Great. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Keisha McKinney, would you like to introduce yourself to the people attending this meeting?
Hello, my name is Keisha McKinney. I'm community liaison for Councilman Andre L. Spivey's office for District 4, and Bradley's on the line as well. I'm one of two.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Bradley Merrill.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm Bradley Merrill, also community liaison for Councilman Andre Spivey. So yep, we will be attending your meetings as representation for our office. So I also do have, I don't know if you want me to wait, I have responses to your concerns.
Actually, I don't really see any reason to wait if you want to continue on with that.
Okay, so I did not get a response for all of the questions just yet, but I was told that I would get more responses tomorrow, so I can email those to you. But to the questions pertaining to DPW, from the email that you sent to our office, number one, there are speed humps on Glenfield between Gratiot and Dickerson. It was my understanding that the community feels that they have not helped to calm traffic. You all asked if the speed humps could be raised higher. And so their response, they installed 7 speed cushions and parking signs along Glenfield in 2019. The height cannot be raised, unfortunately, due to safety concerns. And that DPW says that we feel that the best tool the city has to slow down the vehicle is the speed cushions at this time. So to number 2, is there an ordinance regarding speed limit signs in residential areas? And could DPW provide speed limit signs in certain residential areas? Well, the standard speed limits, well, as we know, defined under Michigan vehicle code is 25 miles per hour for residential streets. DPW does not install speed limit signs along residential streets as the speed limit is 25. So that may be a budget. I can ask more clarity around that. I get that there may be some follow-up questions to number 2. Number 3, there are safety and speed concerns on French Road. There is a school near DPW. Replace the traffic signal that was located on French Road in East Canfield. DPW carried out a study and evaluated the intersection to determine if installing a traffic signal can be justified. The study considered vehicular and pedestrian volumes, accident experience, existing traffic controls, and physical conditions at the intersections. Per the study, Canfield and French Road does not meet the minimum required warrants for a traffic signal. However, DPW will continue to monitor changes in traffic trends at this location to see if the signal may be justified in the future. So those are my responses so far. If you have some follow-up questions, concerns, I can definitely look into those.
Did any of the people initially raising any of those concerns at the past meeting wish to speak up now?
Hi, this is Catherine, and I am a resident on French Road and the president of our block club. The study that was done before the new Chrysler expansion opened up. Once the Chrysler expansion and the traffic light was removed. Once the plant opened up, that reopened the floodgates of traffic through there. St. Jean is no longer an access point other than to enter through the gate. So the only routes are French Road and even other blocks, but they don't seem to be complaining. But French Road is the access to the freeway. And there are hours where traffic is going and coming. There's no regard to safety signs. And DPW has not been back out to reevaluate because they would have noticed the difference. So I appreciate your answer, but our response as residents with children, a school on the corner, older people trying to get out out of a parking space and waiting, maybe we get 30 seconds.
Right. Okay, I'll take that back, and then I'll clarify the date of this study, just to make sure that there hasn't been another study done after, after the
We would appreciate that, because when the study was done, there were signs posted and the light was still there. And it's been well over a year.
Okay.
But thank you.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. And then the other matter was introduction of guest elected officials, and we did have looking to see if he's still here. Is former State Representative Lamar Lemons present? Okay, and former school board member. I was looking, he was here a minute ago. Let me expand the screen here a minute. Okay, well, if he comes back, I guess he can introduce himself then. Do we have anyone else here who is an elected official other than the board members themselves? Okay. Then the next part of this was, of course, looking at our agenda here is the agenda itself. I know I have a couple additions based upon some contact I've had with people over email or by phone or in person. Before I get to mine, are there any others? changes to the agenda and I'm speaking to the members now. Karen Knox, Gregory Creswell. I don't think Washington's on the call yet. Okay. I'm just looking here. I want to make sure that I'm getting affirmative responses. So I see muted here. Let me just ask one at a time. Gregory, did you have any changes to the agenda?
No, I do not.
Okay, just making sure you weren't, unintentionally muted. Karen, do you have any changes to the agenda?
The only thing I would like to bring up, if possible, is about the water issue when people purchase houses, how they can charge them $8,000 to $10,000, and I think that's something that we need to address.
Okay. And I'm looking for the correct, I think that's new business. I'll put it under new business. Trying to figure out how to make this. Okay, I think I got to figure out how to make my indent work correctly. Let's do it like this. Okay, so for now on the agenda, the way I'm saving it, and it's looking a little odd, and I'm probably gonna have to fix this up later. But for right now, I'm gonna insert it under new business, and it will be let's see. Oh yeah, the state. Can you say it one more time, please? I'm sorry, Karen.
No problem. When people or persons purchase homes from the land bank, there's an $8,000 to $10,000 charge for them to reconnect water. I think that needs to be addressed because that's discouraging to anybody purchasing a house, and it really eliminates inner city residents from buying, because most people, they save. Well, anyway, that's what's on the agenda. I'll talk about it later. But the problem is the $8,000 to $10,000 charge to reconnect water to the lines that has been disconnected or dug up from the city department. I have quite a bit on the water system in Detroit that's going on.
Okay. So I have included that in under new business. I'm going to include a couple more items here. Oh wait, oh yeah, I already asked Gregory. So yeah, I'm just making sure I'm keeping this in order. And one of the new items here concerns. I'm actually going to do a copy paste from somewhere else, or I have some notes here. Don't mind. Okay. And that looks not exactly the way I need to have it. Okay, so the other items I have here, yes, that is an address, and the address is an item. Apparently, there's been a lot of complaints surrounding that address. And no one, it is not occupied, so I'm not putting a person's residence on here. It is near a person's residence. Okay, so I guess we can proceed then. And moving on. Oh wait, I should need to have a vote. Okay, I'm going to still, even though I know we do not have a quorum, I'm going to still, we're going to still follow Robert's rules on approval of items and so forth as if we do. Though, I mean, because it's just binding in the meeting itself.
Excuse me,
Gregory?
Scotty, I don't think we should do that. I think we can hold off until the next meeting.
I'm voting on approving the agenda.
Oh, for that part? Oh, okay. All right, gotcha. It's clear now. Okay,
Well,
gotcha.
no, I'm not. What I'm saying is, for internal matters of just the meeting itself, I don't think there's a problem with us having votes, just like we did before the last meeting. It's
True,
just a
true.
matter of it not really having any continuance beyond this meeting as anything effective or binding. We could, of
Gotcha.
course, still make a good faith effort to follow through with it. Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
am. I am.
Okay. All right. So moving forward, then let's it's all and we got to do a roll call also. So the motion then I'm making is to approve the agenda for
Seconded.
okay, and Gregory Creswell seconds approval of the agenda. And so now we go to a vote if there's no objections. And so Karen, next, how do you vote on the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
He moves to approve the agenda. I'm Scott Boman. I approve the agenda. Gregory?
I approve of it also.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we now have move on to the next thing. Let's see what we had here. Now with the minutes, and again, we will probably need to re-ratify the minutes at the next meeting, I think, because that is something that has a continuance beyond this meeting. But at least for based upon our current understanding of things, I think it's also worthwhile to review the minutes for the benefit of those here. Let's go ahead with that then. And I'm going to now change my screen sharing to the minutes. And let me stop the share on this one. And here I am. Okay, and then I am gonna, and let me look again. What happened here with, okay. I'm gonna do a, I see something in the chat and I'm gonna take a peek at it. Okay, and I have a question here that was, we were actually talking about it informally before the calling to order of the meeting. I know I'm breaking, you know what? I'm gonna address this because I see it, and actually it was something that is relevant to the opening of the meeting when we're doing roll, and that is that we don't have a youth representative, senior representative, or the second vacancy filled. I suppose I could at the moment, since now I'm talking, this is going back to something involving action by Council Member Spivey. Does Bradley Merrill or Keisha McKinney have any information on that matter?
Fortunately, I don't have the appointee names at this time, but I will get that to you as soon as I can get those names for you.
Okay. Thank you. Because yeah, we're eager to see how that works out. Okay, so then I'm going to continue where I was going to share the minutes. So let me go and do that. So I'm just changing my screen sharing and I'm pulling up minutes. And I think I got the right screen. Okay, so I'm sharing minutes, and actually one thing I'm thinking of right now, I'm looking here. Well, Danny, did you want your last name included on the minutes? Oh boy. Danny? Okay, I don't know if I'll just assume, okay, perhaps not. So I'm just gonna, I think, I'll just ask Gregory and Karen. Oh, and by right here also, Karen, some places I saw your name is Karen D. Knox, and then you also mentioned that Kalina is like another word for Karen, and then I
Okay, don't
saw. Go ahead.
Um, Kalina, don't worry about Kalina. That's my stage name. So my name is Karen. In
Okay,
Detroit, my name is Karen. So just go by that.
okay. I actually had a little post about you on the d4cac.org website also. Do you want me to keep that Kalina in that, or should I remove that also when I go
Please
back
remove
into
that. Yeah, remove that. I'd like to see where that is because I've heard about it. Yeah, you can remove that because people in Detroit don't know me by that name.
Okay, so just leave. So I'll just remove the middle. Okay. All right. So this was the members present. It was all four of the current members. Oh, Gregory, this is actually, I'm sitting here doing your job. Gregory, as the secretary, would you like to read the minutes?
I can't do it. Oh, okay. All right. Ready?
Yes.
All right. Karen, she introduced herself. She was appointed by Councilman Andre Spivey to fill a vacancy. I made a motion to approve the agenda. Washington seconded. All members voted to approve the agenda. Reading of the minutes was done by me. The resolution from the January meeting was mute and it was removed. Motion to accept the minutes by Scotty Boman. I seconded. The minutes were approved by all four of us. The approval of the prior officers' election, Scotty for chairperson, myself for secretary, Washington for treasurer, and the pending election of the vice chair went through. Scotty Boman nominated Karen for vice chair, Washington seconded, and Karen accepted. The vote was 3-0 election of Karen. All of the officers were voted into the position. Scotty for chairman, Karen for vice chair, myself for secretary, Washington for treasurer. The current concerns and plans of actions, Karen comments about the speed bumps are not effective on Glenfield between Gratiot and Dickerson. And Brenda, her question is there a city, state law, or ordinance that mandates that each neighborhood has speed limit signs? Spivey will be contacted about that point. Loretta's comments about speed bumps being effective. It depends on the make and model of the vehicle. Brenda's comments, how much of the Fiat Chrysler payout money is left. She mentions the Lincoln Moore Housing Revitalization Week, which was February the 15th through the 22nd. Catherine's comments, she's resubmitted the point about the traffic near FCA plant, i.e. losing a traffic signal on French Road on East Canfield Street. Catherine believes the vehicle count is over 125 between the hours of 2:15 p.m. and 2:45 p.m. daily. Everyone is using French Road with a school nearby, according to Catherine. Brenda's comments, she wants our meeting information on the city Detroit website. Scotty's comment is he shared a link to that website, and the private website is d4cac.org. Brenda's comment, she has some concerns and wants some kind of an investigation into fake addresses of contractors who apply for city contracts that are connected to proposal N. She believes the city council is not doing its job. Scotty commented, how about a new platform, a face-to-face meeting site, web access, check with the policy division. Letitia comments, she made a point about cost, something in the area of $149. Unless we are a nonprofit, that it could cost about $75, similar to that of the 5th Precinct Community Relations Council, who is charged. Don't confuse a nonprofit with a 401c3. financial account, bank or credit union, ask if campaign accounts can be used. Brenda's comments, how did CDC D7 handle this issue? And do we have access to the city's website? Judy, her committee is Judy Peace to you at gmail.com. Supervised recreation, neighborhood basketball whoops / schools available for you. What is the link to the rec survey? Scotty's comment, he will contact Mr. Whitaker about the issue. He made a motion to table the topic of opening a bank credit union account. Kalina's comments, she will check into an application from the state. Washington's comments, he believes the city government may have a Zoom account. The vote meeting to adjourn after public comments, the vote was unanimous. The vote was made ahead of the completion of comments because Gregory would go and we would no longer have a quorum. The meeting ended at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's it.
Thank you, Gregory. I had a question here, and I'm trying to remember with Letitia talking about the cost. Was this in relation to a Zoom account, that $149 and that $75?
Let's see. Good question. Let me try to think of an answer. I'm leaning toward that point, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm going to see Letitia Johnson here now.
Yes, Catherine just put on the chat that yes, that's what it was about.
All right, so I assume that would probably be annually then, and I'm looking at that much. Yeah, and right now we're using another organization's Zoom account, and I can't bank on that indefinitely, which is one reason I'm thinking we should have our own. Okay, but that may be getting off the agenda. Right now we're still on the minutes. So I think, let me put that as a clarification though. And this is also Letitia Johnson. I should have her last name in here. And it is also about cost of, let's put it like that. Any other additions from Karen or Gregory on the minutes?
Not for me.
Not for me either.
Okay, I'm going to save this. Here. Okay, anyway, save a copy. That's a good idea. I'm just going to save a copy. Here, let's make it B or something here. Okay. Okay. And I just realized I'm not sharing. Oh, okay, it's because I was sharing the other screen. I wasn't sharing the minutes. Oops. So did no one see the minutes just now? Or is it just because you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I saw it too, of course.
Okay, so it's just trying to clarify what is and isn't shared, because right now I'm looking here and it looks like it's just still sharing the Zoom account here. This isn't the minutes, this is the agenda. Okay, so on the, so there's no other items then to be changed on it, so we'll go to a vote. Anyone, there being no objections, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay, so Karen Knox has moved to approve the minutes and Gregory Creswell seconded it. And now we'll go to a vote. I'm Scotty Boman. I vote to approve the minutes.
I'm Greg Criswell, and I approve the minutes.
And member Knox. Vice
Yes.
Chairperson Knox. Hello?
Yes,
Do you approve the minutes?
yes, I said that. I motion to approve the minutes, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good. Then we're gonna now go to, and I'm gonna reshare the agenda. I know it's sometimes this gets a little cumbersome trying to do it right. I'm resharing that. And so now we're back to that. Okay, so then what I also see here then is we have, okay, go back up. Presentations. I don't think anyone has a presentation. Karen Knox or Gregory Creswell, did you have any presentations?
No, not really, no.
Okay.
No,
Okay. On to unfinished business. And we did talk about some of those community concerns that came up in the minutes. Other things that came up that I didn't hear that were a part, because some of the stuff we talked about, we heard back from Bradley and Keisha on. In addition to that, I have wanted to update everyone, and I'm going to share something else now. I keep doing, I know I keep changing what I'm sharing, but actually I'm going to show what I've done in response to a couple of the other concerns here. And to do this, I'm going to be sharing a the website. And navigate this thing. And that's where I want to go. Okay, so navigating the website, I got, here, let's see, where did I go with it? Okay, yes, there was a request for information about FCA home repair. And so I did post that here. I think everyone should be seeing what I'm showing.
I'm not
and
looking at
so there
that.
were links here.
Go ahead.
Karen?
If I'm not mistaken, that home repair is just over in the Jefferson area. Am I correct?
Excuse me?
Is that home repair for just in the Jefferson area?
Yeah, I think it's limited. Let me see. It says FCA home repair phase 2 community information sessions. And it said, please see this flyer and form for details. So this is what I got back from Mr. Moore. And let's see if it'll continue to share the screen if I click that. Can you see what I just opened?
No, it's too dark. Oh, I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. So we have,
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I had told people about it and found out from someone that it wasn't not for the entire D4 area. It's only for the Jefferson area, which is something we're going to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I can, the FCA home repairs was a part of the community benefits agreement for the new plant that they built. So the home repair funds are for the people who live right near the plant. There's like an impact area, which I guess they have on this map right here.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so that's what I did, and Bradley has answered your question about it. Beverly Brown has her hand up. Beverly, if you can unmute yourself if you wish.
Oh yeah, I have some friends that live in the Pennsylvania Warren area. They've received applications for the home repair. I don't know if it's in that phase, but they had to have the application in by May 10th. So I don't know if that helps anybody.
And it looks like it's related because this has a May 10th deadline. Would either of the representatives from Councilmember Spivey's office have an answer to that?
I don't know the specific details on when they have to have their application in, but if there is a person in the meeting that is in the impact zone and has questions specifically about their home, I can definitely follow up and get answers for you.
I'm
I
sorry.
know that
I
the
thought
office does do outreach for the people, but they contact the people in the impact zone, so that outreach wouldn't be extended to everybody in the entire district. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, Ms. Brown?
no, I'm saying I thought the question was it just in the Jefferson, this phase in the Jefferson Chalmers area, and I was just saying that a person, I know a couple of people that got on two different streets that's across East Warren, on the north side of East Warren, that receive applications.
Well, the answer to the question is the FCA home repair funds are only for the homes in that impact zone. If those people don't live in that impact zone, they won't receive that funding, whether they have an application or not.
Right.
Why would they send an application and ask for people to turn their deeds?
I really can't comment on that
everything
specific instance because I honestly don't think that they would do that, but I can't comment on that specific instance. I don't know what application they have, or or maybe were they talking about a different grant, or I don't know all those specifics about that situation. But
I'm responding to the question that was asked because I actually called Scotty to make sure it was a legitimate application, so they wouldn't fill it out, and if it was a legitimate physical address to send the application to, so they wouldn't get scammed.
Pennsylvania is in the area. The boundary is Newport to McClellan, the river to 94.
Thank you.
Okay, because Pennsylvania would be in the area. They indicated that they mailed out over 4,800 applications to every address that was validated in the area. So all homes got them, whether they were actual homeowners or not, but only homeowners can apply for the loan. And they have to be able to be homeowners, how long you've lived there, no back taxes. There's several things. It was a really good informational meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, and there was this other, let me see what else I had here on this particular issue. I'm looking here. We also then had this other document, and that was just the application itself. So that was also sent to me, and I just posted this on the website after getting it emailed. And again, the deadline is May 10th for those who are eligible. And I have posted it here. I'm sure there's other places it's posted. I just did this for the convenience of people participating in our meetings. The also, let's see, community information sessions are passed. Those were late in February, so I guess I don't really, well, those are just Zoom links, really. I don't really need to add to that. Okay. Also, and let me find my way back to where I was. Here we are. Navigating my way around the website here. There was another issue regarding recreation and parks. And that I also posted something about. There's a survey, and it may be closed now, but Judy Pencil had brought to our attention and by the way, since we have people from the council member's office, I should point out that she was raising some serious concerns about the need to have recreation available for youth, so that they have some positive things to devote their time to, especially since maybe they're not spending as much time in the classroom and there aren't as many extracurricular activities going on, that they have some recreation available, keep them on a constructive path. But what I have here is there was a parks and recreation survey. And there's also a flyer pertaining to that I have here. Let's see if I can get it to open up this flyer. Okay, that looks like a thumbnail. That wasn't really the document. Let me go back. Maybe just click on it. Okay, and then there was the survey itself. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what's happening with this flyer right now. Oh, here, maybe I just need to open up the actual article. That might work better now. It actually looks like a better quality image. Yeah, so it looks like this was actually about a past event that was in February, pertaining to outreach. And then there's also a form. I think if I click this, it might be the survey itself. And I want to see if the survey is still active or if it's going to say it's expired. Yeah, there's still a survey there. So I suppose people want to make input can still use it. I'm hoping that it would still be looked at. I guess since there's a place to put your email, it would be telling to see if there's a response. Would either Bradley or Keisha have a comment on the survey?
So this survey, I remember I sent it to you after I got your concerns. It is just the beginning of them deciding how they're going to plan the parks that are in the city right now. So if you do fill out the survey, you can leave comments there to be more specific, as I don't know exactly what their questions are, but if you say there's what your concern is wasn't one of the questions they asked, there'll be a comment section there where you can write that in, the things you would like to see in your area. I know that was the February 15th date on their record. They had a meeting where they discussed stuff with the community in that survey. But I do believe it still will be looked at if you fill it out, as that was the phase 1 survey. So there's more to come, and
Okay.
no final decisions have.
Where was this survey given out? Because I don't remember getting this.
Now everything is pretty much virtual. So via email and when I do receive these things, I can definitely send them to Scotty and send them to the board so that you can have them and disseminate it again amongst your neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
And there is the link on the article I just showed you also.
All right.
So yeah, it's a direct link. Oops, gotta find my way back here. Okay, so that Yeah, that actually opened up directly from here where it's Parks and Recreation Survey Phase 1. And so I posted those. So as far as old business, was there anything else that we discussed at the past meeting that people still wanted to go back over here regarding concerns from the past meeting?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna then the other issues that came up, and I'm gonna reopen this agenda so I can stay with it properly. Let me just do that. And also I'm looking to see who's all here now. Okay. I'm back here again. So resharing the agenda. Okay. So what we have here is other past issues, right? Unfinished business. Zoom account and future meeting venues. It looks like most likely, in my opinion, it's most likely that we will be scheduling our April meeting in a similar fashion to the way we're conducting this one and the previous one by teleconference. And again, I'm going to try to be as vigilant as possible, sending out the information to everybody. I'm working on consolidating my list so I can do this in a more systematic way. But if in doubt, or if you miss something, you don't see the information, you can check that website. And I always post whatever is going on there because I just think that simplifies things, that we have a central location where people can look. Oh, and I did just remember some unfinished business also, as far as some questions that I brought up in addition to the ones there. And this went back to when I was contacting, sending questions to a few different officials, including Council Member Spivey. There, I know, like the one first meeting that we had that wasn't really, we didn't have the quorum, but we did meet. The first meeting that the meeting of the elected members, I'll call it. That meeting of elected members was initially posted on the city website, and I had sent that to the clerk. Now the clerk told me this time around that there are, and I think it was probably Andre Gilbert, I believe, the deputy clerk, told me that different people within the city government have the responsibility of posting things for specific groups when it comes to the event postings on the Detroit City website. And because even though we do send the minutes to the clerk's office, the city clerk is not acting as secretary of our organization, is not taking the minutes of the organization, that is not the proper contact person to post meetings on the events of the DetroitMI.gov website. So would Bradley or Keisha know who that person is?
No, this is Keisha. I do not know who that person would be, but I can look further into it and see what he means by that.
Okay. And there's also the kind of continuing issue that I have brought this up directly both before and after the formal formation of this community advisory council, or I should say election of it, that we had, I had noticed early on, in fact, the omission of this particular body, not just District 4, but also District 7, or even in a very general sense, the concept of community advisory councils, that I had noticed a complete lack of that on the DetroitMI.gov website, which seemed peculiar and giving, and I referred to, I think at the last city council meeting when I was in community comments, as a lie of omission about our city government, in the sense that this body or community advisory councils in general as a part of the process are not listed on the DetroitMI.gov website. If you search for the phrase community advisory council, nothing will come up. It's only in the only place you find it anywhere in that web space is if I link to the PDF of the city charter. It's in the city charter and it's in the municipal code, but that's all. And if you put in Board of Police Commissioners, Detroit City Council, Detroit City Clerk, Mayor, you will have a very very thorough description of what those things are and who occupies those offices. And so, does Keisha or Bradley have any information about that?
I do
Um,
not. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, I don't, but I can find out who to contact. That would be the mayor's office. Who to contact in the mayor's office to see how we can make those changes on the website to reflect, everything about your group.
Okay. And I do understand, and I'm not, and I make this clear that I'm not unaware of the charter requirement that we don't get money or monetary value from the city. But my response, and I want to make this clear, is this isn't something for us. It's not something for the members of the Community Advisory Council. It is a matter of simply properly informing the people of Detroit about their government. And so I see it not as something for us, but as something for the people of the city of Detroit. And so just to make that clarification, it's not, I don't consider it a favor for us. I consider it a matter of being accurate to the city, the whole people, and complete. Okay, the other
Yeah.
thing I'm looking here under unfinished business, that actually was enumerated in the agenda, which I should be getting back to. Oh, I see a hand raised. Catherine? 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 Ms. Douglas, you have your hand up. Okay, if you wanted to unmute yourself, I'm just saying you can. The other thing I was going to say is I'm looking here and we have the Zoom account. Okay. Oh, wait, I know. Going down here, Zoom account. So for the Zoom account, and this is related also to something a member brought up at the last meeting, and I'm not quite sure. This may be an issue with that whole charter thing I was just discussing, but I did promise to inquire about it, and I didn't get a reply. I think I sent it to Mr. Whitaker because it might have to be a law department or legislative division answer as to, one is a factual question. Is there or is there not a Detroit owned city owned web Zoom account that is available for more than just one body of the Detroit city government? And two, if it already exists, is it usable by a C.A.C?
Mr. Bowman, I think you were correct when you said that it is an LPD question. So we can follow up with Mr. Whitaker to get that answer for you promptly.
Okay, and then we have the issue of financial account, and unfortunately, treasurer isn't with us. I even was hoping that Lamar Lemons might be able to, because he had some expertise in some aspects of this, in getting an account. but we had tabled it before. And so I guess that's old business that we're now bringing back. As far as getting an account, like it would be basically a business or organizational account for this group. And I was thinking that it'd be perhaps a good idea if we could find a local credit union or bank based in the city of Detroit, since we are a entity of the city of Detroit, to kind of show some local solidarity with community banking. But right now we don't have an account, and our
Scotty?
treasurer isn't.
Scotty,
Um,
Scotty,
yes, Gregory.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I am still opposed to any
Mhm.
type of collection of money for any reason whatsoever. It sends up a red flag to me. I'm telling you, it's danger signs, danger, danger, danger.
Okay. Secretary Creswell, how would you recommend we pay for things that involve our activities that require expenditure?
What type of activities are you speaking of?
Okay.
I mean,
Zoom
like,
account. I'm going through. I'll enumerate a few things. Zoom account, business cards, venue. If we cannot find a free facility to use, and I think we probably can. It says use donate facilities in the charter.
is there a
Um,
chance, as far as
Hey.
that, as far as the, let's say, a site to hold a meeting once everything becomes normal, maybe a church would be a-okay.
And I have a question. Why are we getting business cards? Because unless we're going to be on this for after a year, it's not an expense that we don't really need.
Well, I mean, I ended up getting some. I ended up just out of my pocket printing, and here, in fact, let me show you what I mean. Because I mean, everyone else, if you talk to any other city official, I mean, and they're going, for community outreach, and people want to get in touch with them, they will have, and in fact, even assistance to other officials. They'll have cards like this, and I did end up doing this at my own expense. And so,
Well, I believe if the individual office holder wants to have a business card, then that person should use their own cash to have some printed up. As far as collecting funds for the whole D4 C.A.C, I don't think that should be a good idea. Listen, a good idea. I don't. No.
I agree.
As far as the Zoom account,
Karen,
I say this. Somehow, some way, I believe we could use the city's Zoom account to continue on holding this kind of meeting.
and I'm saying that as far as I know, we can't.
You
Well,
say
we
we
have
cannot?
excuse me, we
Karen?
have two of the council people on the phone. Can assistants, Spivey assistant, can we ask them right now? Is it possible?
I think, did we address this in a minute ago?
I thought that we did.
Oh, we did. Oh, okay.
And at the time, did you say it's a legislative policy?
Yes, it's kind of tentative.
Yes.
So we don't know for sure which way it is. We have to speak to the legislative policy division to make sure that's something so our law department to make sure that's something that we can do.
Okay. All right.
Okay, because in the absence of such an account, here's what I would do. And I already, by the way, when I first, after petitioning to create the Community Advisory Council, and kind of, this used to be an old campaign website, and I just reallocated an old website to for the purpose of the Community Advisory Council. When I did that, I also, in order to tell people about the Community Advisory Council, and I actually had put on the contribution page, had and I had since actually removed it because tonight, in fact, it's obsolete. But there was a place where I created a funding pool. In fact, a link to the funding pool still exists there. And the funding pool was for creating cards to give people in the community to inform them about the Community Advisory Council, because otherwise they weren't likely to even know about it. And I did raise a significant amount of money that way and printed. Now that was all from a personal account for the purpose of printing these cards. And I made it very transparent. I specified the exact cost. It's from Detroit Impressions Printing. I believe at some point I even posted a scan of the receipt to make sure there wasn't any confusion about how this money was spent. And so I can, again, what I suppose I can offer is if any member wishes to have business cards printed, and they want to give me a link to their own cash pool, I can just have separate links on there on that page. I'll simply say for Gregory Creswell's, for Karen Knox's, for Washington Hewson's, business cards, click here and do it that way if we're not going to have some shared or organizational account. I could even get a Zoom account and have people to pitch in to reimburse me for the cost of the Zoom account. I could do that.
That's
Comments?
Scotty. Yes, Scotty. Let's say, for instance, I'm using a round figure, $100 for the Zoom account. It wouldn't bother me to chip in $25 and give to you or whoever, for instance, you or whoever, to pay for the Zoom account. But to start up a bank account or a credit union account, I think that's a road we should not go down.
And I'm sorry, I'm not going to come in and start spending money. So I'm not wanting to do that. No. So that's something that we.
Sorry, Terry, can you repeat that?
I didn't come in to start spending money, like you're talking about business cards, paying on the Zoom account. No, I'm not for that. No.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll just leave the option open if anyone decides they want to do that. Because it's not being an organizational account. I suppose it's not a matter of any group thing. It's just right now it's just a website I own instead of one that the Community Advisory Council owns if it was to have its own accounts. So it's really I'm just kind of donating piecemeal my own services on each item until we do that, or indefinitely if we don't do that. Okay. I guess we can move on to something else. It doesn't seem like there's really anything. Are there any other comments on this whole topic of financial things that have costs connected to them?
No, I don't have a comment.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back. I believe it's still sharing the, is it still sharing the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So that takes us on down to new business. And here's the items I had on there. We have homes from the land bank. And this, that was brought up. Homes from land bank, $8,000 to $10,000 charge to reconnect the water. There is a concern about that. And I believe that was brought up by
Karen.
Catherine Douglas.
No,
Did you-
Karen Knox.
Karen Knox brought up. I'm sorry. Karen,
Yeah.
can you talk just a little more about that?
Okay, when you purchase a house from the land bank, there's a stipulation that there could be an $8 to $10 charge to reconnect water, because if it has like water off, that they go down and I guess in the ground and cut the pipes or something. And that is discouraging people from purchasing property. And I don't think that's a charge that should be on the homeowner, the where they cut the water off. That should not, they should not be eating that. And it also makes it to the point where Detroiters can't afford that. So it's opening up to me a lot of people that have much more finances to purchase houses, and it's taking the city members, people in the city of Detroit out of it. I don't think it should be a charge to reconnect the water when they cut it off. They do the WO, cut the water off underground, and then turn around and charge people $8,000 to $10,000 to put it back. I think that's something that needs to be looked at and something needs to be changed.
Okay, thank you. And I see a hand up by Beverly Brown, so she may have some input on that.
Yeah, I don't have any input, but I have a question to go along with that, because it's a lot of people, buying 10 and 12 houses. And I'm quite sure with the rehab they're doing on some of these houses, it's been vacant for over 10 years, that they're not spending an additional $8,000, because it's on my street, they're rehabbing like 5 houses at a time. So that's $50,000 to rehab. So it needs to be made sure that they're, paying it, because like I say, they own property and the neighbors are cleaning them up and everything, the leaves and the raking and, and all of that. And then they just come in and start doing the work on it. And a lot of times they disrespect the neighborhoods, because I'm quite sure they're not paying $10,000 for each house.
Exactly. And the thing is, you think of these big corporations, these big companies that coming in, and the city give them a break, or the land bank give them a break. And where the ones in the city that have been living here fighting to keep it together, got to be trying to come up with money once they buy this property. And it's discouraging people that we live within the city from purchasing a house.
Yeah, and they also sell, I found out just by accident, when somebody was rehabbing a house, the lots next door, they don't even have a limit on how long you can have to own the property. They're coming in asking the people to buy the lot next to them, and then they in turn buy it from them, and then we've got another blight issue.
Yes.
Because they don't maintain it.
Exactly.
So there's no limit on how long, the person that buys the lot has to have ownership of the lot before they can sell it to somebody else that's a non-resident or not even living in the area.
Or in the state.
Oh,
so I'm hearing a concern about unequal treatment of certain buyers.
Yes, it's a concern. I have a good example. We have an apartment building that
just want to make sure everybody, if a person that lives here and just want to buy one house and they have to pay $10,000, what about the people that's buying 10 or 20 houses in our neighborhood? Do they have to pay $10,000 for each water turn on, or do they get a deal?
Exactly.
They get the deal.
And we need to know where we can look and see that they're actually paying their fair share of stuff, because a lot of times they don't even have to register the house. We we got people rehabbing and we don't even know who the owner is because the owner from 10 years ago is still on the house and they don't have to register it.
Would
And they're
Brett
not
Merrill
pulling.
or Keisha McKinney know anything about this particular topic?
I think that the best way to start to work through the concerns that are being discussed is to get a clear answer from the water department and the land bank about what the procedure is for reconnecting water if it has been shut off on a home, for the new buyer. So I think we'll start there with that question and get that answer. I'm curious if Ms. Knox, if you have like a specific address or a specific case that you're talking about, and then maybe we can dive into that one and
Okay,
get into what's going on here.
I know the house next to 12261 is one of the houses, and
You said
12261 Glenfield, and 12261 Glenfield, they just came out, but I don't know whether they were going to be charged that $10,000 or not. But there is the house next to it. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't know the address, but it's right next to 12261 Glenfield, and is on both sides. There are houses that people want, and they go and see on the land bank that this $8,000 to $10,000 charge. They're like, I can't do that.
Okay, and when you say next to, can you give, is it east or west?
Glenfield, you said?
12261 Glenfield, and it's on east
But it's the
side.
house next door.
Yeah, on
Okay.
east and west of 12261 Glenfield.
12261.
Right, and might even be 12261. They're checking now to see if the water's been cut. So these three houses, and I have people on Kilbourne that they purchased a house, and they're going through the same thing of paying the $8,000 to $10,000 for the water to be reconnected. I don't have the address off the top of my head, but I'm telling about the people that live in the community that has spoke about it.
Can I say something? And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, can it be, because a lot of times, as many times as we had empty houses on my street, and we had to beg the people to come and turn the water off because people had went in and stripped the houses and cut the lines and stuff. So I'm just wondering, is this a way to recoup those water bills that they couldn't get paid up? Labeling as that, as a reconnecting charge. Because in the past, they used to try and make, if somebody bought a home, and try and make them pay the old water bill or the old electric bill.
Okay. It might be.
And here's another thing. And here's one other thing that I'm dealing with in this community, where they do, when they have water leaks in the city, they don't fix them correctly. Then when you buy the lot, after you done complain, then they want to charge you to go back and plug the water up under the ground that the city didn't fix right in the first place. So the water company didn't fix it, and so water comes up out the ground. Then they tell you that you're responsible for it. That's not fair to the consumer, because that's the Detroit Water Department job to fix those things correctly. And what we have is 2 lots, water coming up through the ground. Now we want to buy another lot, but we can't buy that lot because we're not going to, because the water is coming up, and water is coming up in our playground, which we called them out numerous times before we built the playground about fixing this leak. And now they're saying, oh, it's a private park, we can't do it. Well, they knew long before it became a private park that this leak was here. They fixed it on the street side, but didn't fix it in the park. And what they did was just put sand upon it and camouflage it. So this water comes up every year. So the water department does not do what they're supposed to do. And then when someone purchases lots or something, they're caught in a trap of paying for the water department to come out and fix the problem, when the water department job was to fix it from the day one when the house got tore down.
Okay. Well, I see that we're gonna, we should probably, if there's no objection, continue this conversation with the inclusion of the land bank and the water department. I'll start an email and include Keisha McKinney and Bradley Merrill on it so that they can, is that okay?
Yes, that
Yeah.
works, and
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
follow up on the concerns.
So
Thank
yeah,
you,
so
sir.
it's transparent to the council member what's going on here. Maybe he'll have a chance to address this. Okay, and you know what? Definitely we'll have to follow up. Then this will be move on to the old business of the next meeting. Okay, then what we also had, and I'm keep bouncing between these screens here. Excuse me again. Is I have oops, wrong screen. Here it is. Okay, and then also now here I put an address down. Let me explain what's going on here. I have multiple emails going back and forth. A few different people were included. I'm sure Council Member Spivey was CC'd on most of them. 5267 Belfour was apparently this has been, and people immediately next to this residence have had quality of life issues resulting from the condition of this building, that it is, at least by some of their descriptions, does not sound like it is structurally sound. There were comments I was getting about foul odors coming from it, about issues with the water in relation to that. And I think the general sense I was getting out of this is that this building is a eyesore, a potential health problem, and clearly isn't going to be helping the value of anyone's property living near it, and that it sounds like they want it to be raised. I mean, it sounds like either some extreme work, if possible, would need to be done, or this needs to be raised. So again, that is something I believe goes on a city council agenda, the raising or keeping of buildings, wouldn't it? Ms.
The council does have to
Bradley.
approve buildings that
Hmm?
are demoed. I was saying the council does approve the demolition of homes, but what I can do though is, you have the address there. I can just, send it to the demolition department to see whether that house is on the demolition list or not. And if it isn't, send the inspector out there to check it out and get it on that list. And then I can, get that up too. I'm taking notes now, for all the concerns that we're following up on too. So
Oh, fabulous.
it
And
might already be on the list.
it might be. And I have a follow-up in that correspondence. I believe the matter of ownership had come up, and it may have been changing hands, but it seems to, I mean,
Okay.
even if there's a private owner, it seems like this is affecting the people next to the property in a manner then that there still needs to be action taken on the property, or some accountability by that owner, or both, about what's happening here.
Right, I agree. If it's privately owned, that does make, then there are legal steps that need to be taken. But as there
Mhm.
are other measures that maybe could be taken in the meantime, awaiting demolition. Once I look into the property, I can speak more specifically about it. But maybe it can be boarded up, or maybe the smell can be addressed depending on what it is, where it's coming from.
Yeah.
There are definitely possibilities for things that can be done.
Okay, and then there was the plumbing issue. I guess I could call it a water and sewage issue of standing water in the roadways of East Outer Drive and Grayton Street. That, and I
Mhm.
guess there was some explanation presented by members of the water department about this, and it's some process, but it sounds like the way they described it almost sounded like the whole thing was going to go on and on until June, which seems a bit too long for that type of condition to exist out there.
Right. Are you able to, did they respond to you via email? The water department?
Yeah, and well, I'm trying to remember if it was them themselves or somebody paraphrasing what they got from the water department. But
Oh, okay, because I
I
was
just
gonna
saw
ask if you were
it
able.
today. It just showed up in my inbox like this morning. But
You
yeah,
could email
apparently
that to me.
there is flooding over there by that intersection. I think on Grayton
If you
specifically.
could
I had
email me
pictures.
that response.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, if you could email me that response, I can follow up directly on that one.
Okay.
I have a question, with Brandy.
Bradley. Mhm.
Yeah. Is there any way that I can get in contact with BC, because it was some paper that was supposed to be registered way back last year and COVID shut everything down. So the papers are still not registered for the property, and I have emailed and no one is responding, can't get through. And we have this house that we need these papers filed. So I can't get through. So is there any way you all can help me with that?
Yeah, definitely. Ms. Knox, you have I'm gonna put my phone number in there so you can text me about that. Because depending on what kind of papers it is, it would be a different person to talk to. So I'll put it in the chat, and you might already have it, but my number, so you can call or text me.
I have your number. And here's another question. Who do the zoning of the of Eden Garden is 16 blocks, and they have Eden Gardens going way over somewhere. Who does that? That makes this the boundaries wide, and how can that be corrected?
The boundaries for each neighborhood?
Yeah.
I don't know. And if
I
you want to,
Bradley, I believe
ahead,
that the
Keisha.
mayor's office, you have a department a person in the department that handles the neighborhoods and like how they determine, the stretch of the neighborhood.
Okay, because I need that corrected. And so
Yeah, the best
email
person to contact will be your deputy manager, Ron, or Dennis Perkins. They will be able to get that done for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and I just think we're kind of getting near the end here. There were a couple things that came up when I was actually visiting a one of the larger buildings in the community. Tenant issues. I don't know. I'm actually doing a little research on this side about this, but I'm not sure I know it fully. Is there a recourse for people who are already renters and then having drastic changes in their lease? For instance, a woman who had been living someplace for 7 years, she has cats. The corporation that owns the apartment complex changed, and now they want to charge like hundreds of dollars, like $300 a month for her to keep her cats, that kind of thing. Is there any recourse for tenants in that situation?
Well, that sounds like a civil matter. That doesn't sound like anything that the city would handle. But I can look into it and ask our policy analyst to see if he knows, how we can possibly help with that.
I just had people
And
asking questions who were in these situations. Another one has to do with
I would
like
also
go ahead.
refer them. Wait, I was going to say I would also refer them to the United Community Housing Coalition. They've been helpful with all the helpful partners when people have issues with their homes, whether they're tenants or homeowners. I can't, so maybe they could. I'll put that number in the chat, and maybe they can assist this.
Oh, okay, in the chat. Okay, I'll have to get that out of there. Okay. And also, is it a health department issue at all, or is it also just a civil issue? If you have renters where they have, and I'm talking now about large buildings, not like individual houses or parts of a house, but in a large complex, if they have a rodent infestation problem that isn't being addressed by the owners, is there anything in that regard that would be a city matter?
Yeah, that is the issue. If they have a rodent issue, then they're not in compliance. If you send the address, we can have the city inspector go out there and inspect the home.
Okay, I will send you that address. Okay. Reports, Gregory Creswell or Karen Knox, did you have any further reports to make?
No, I do not.
No, I do not.
Okay, and I don't. I've been kind of making reports as we've been going, which I know it's sort of loose and not strictly by the structure, the framework we got here, but it's kind of, it's actually kind of good, I think, that we're maybe being a little less formal, because this way we kind of have the interaction of everybody who's logged in here more so. And so when we finally get to public comments, I don't know, maybe more that people wish to add, but it looks like we've gotten a lot of input. Okay, so, but before we get to that, to the public comment, which looks like the last thing we really have here. All right, the date is a regular meeting date. We've already previously agreed that it would be on the second Monday of each month, which makes it April 12th next month, and be at 7 p.m. So we got that in there. Is anyone disagree with the likelihood that this will probably need to be a virtual event at least for one more month?
Let's keep it as it is.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I guess I will be finding out Wednesday whether or not it'll be this Zoom meeting address, or if I'm going to have to create a different one or work something out with someone else about it. But I'll be talking to some people on Wednesday about that. And whatever it is, however we end up doing things, again, the one central place, the one-stop shop, if you will, would be if you just go to d4cac.org and it redirects to that website that I put up there. I will post, upcoming meeting information as soon as I have it there. At this point, so there's not really to vote on there because it's just the regular meeting date. Okay, so at this point, really, we'll just move on to public comments. And I don't really think I have to set up a timer. We'll see how this runs. I guess, let's say I'm going to put a definitely, let's say 3 minutes, but I'm not going to. Just everyone try to be concise. I really don't feel like, I hate it when the city count, yes, the city council sometimes will be down to even 1 minute, or the Board of Police Commissioners. And I think we can be a little less formal, and hopefully everybody will still have their say and this won't go on forever. So I'm just going to take a chance and open it up broadly to public comments. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that the speakers themselves will be the visible persons. Hands up if you want to make public comments, and I'll see if I can just kind of call in the order I see them popping up. Okay, Beverly's first.
I just want to say I enjoyed the meeting. It was very informative. Sorry I missed the previous one, but it's a good thing. Everybody you know, did great. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you, Beverly. Looking for hands.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, ML Elric had his hand up. And then Danny's after ML because he was just right behind him. So ML, then Danny.
I just want to thank everybody for their service and putting the time in. And I hope that you guys find a way to get the resources you need to continue without having to go into your own pockets and without having to do any fundraising. Because I agree that when people start raising money, things can get a little tricky.
Thank you. Okay, Danny.
Yeah, my question is, who's responsible for repairing the sidewalks? 'Cause we got about 3 sidewalks we need to have repaired in my area.
It sounds like Public Works, but again, I think I'll defer that to Keisha.
Yes, public works, they go out and do the sidewalks. It's what's the email address? Is it sidewalks@detroitmi.gov? You just send the address where the sidewalk is at, and they'll come out and survey, and there's a list that will be put on. But it's sidewalks@detroitmi.gov.
It's the thing I just put in the I didn't click send yet. The thing I just put in the chat, is that correct?
I don't see anything in the chat.
Oh, Keisha.
I don't see anything either.
Oh, you know why? It came across Catherine Douglas has it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was in a private send. I need to fix
Oh,
it. Yeah, I gotta make this an everyone message. In fact, when I copy paste, I gotta be careful about that too. Okay. There. That one. That's what I was looking at. Okay. Just checking. Sidewalk at DetroitMI.gov. Okay, next comment. Hands. Anyone, any hands to pop up here? If anyone calling by phone doesn't, by the way, I should go. It's *9 is the hand up, hand down keys on a conventional phone, or *6 is the mute unmute item. So if anyone here is on a phone and doesn't know how to handle the that feature, if you just want to push *6 and unmute yourself, you can speak up. The hand raising thing.
I just want to add something real quick. It's actually sidewalk complaints. So I just added that in the chat, the revision. Yeah.
Thank you for that correction. I do see that. And I'm going to try to, I'm actually copying a bunch of text out of here because I don't want to lose it later. Okay, and I got that. Okay, so if there are no other public, oh, I hear one. Is there anyone else for public comment? Here in background. Okay, well, if there are no more, then I believe, oops, sorry, I'm trying to share the right screen still myself. Let me just go back to this one last time. Okay, where was I? Here I am. Okay, sharing this screen here. If you look under public comment, the only thing that remains is adjournment. Is anyone moving to adjourn?
I move for the meeting to be adjourned.
Second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Okay, so we'll go to a vote. I'm Scotty Boman. I vote yes to adjournment.
I second.
Gregory Cresswell votes yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen, you're voting, right? You already seconded earlier.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I now recognize that our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very
All right.
much for everybody who joined in, and stay in touch.
All
And
right. Thank
hopefully
you.
we can resolve